What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unhinged Talk. As usual, you know the deal. I'm your host, Patrick Hennessy. Everything should be good tonight. Audio, picture, let's go. I'm pretty sure I got the chat on the screen. I know that was an issue first half of last live stream, but we're chilling now. By ourselves again. That's fine. Can't have a co-host every day, right? But yeah, let's get into the meat and potatoes of tonight, and that's DJ LeMahieu. Listen. I'm so exhausted of talking about this whole DJ LeMahieu saga. I feel like it's just going to drag on all offseason. Shout out, Nick. What's going on? But listen, apparently they've reached a stalemate in negotiations now. The Yankees and LeMahieu are apparently way apart when it comes to contract negotiations. Apparently what DJ's looking for is 5 years, $110 million. Personally, I'd give that to him 10 times out of 10. The Yankees don't want to. I believe their last offer to him was 4 for 84 maybe, which I think is a pretty fair contract. But apparently what DJ is looking for is a contract equivalent to I think what JD Martinez got, which would be 5 and 110. Let me just make sure of that. But regardless, if 5 and 110 is what DJ LeMahieu is looking for, I think that that's a very fair asking price for one of the best hitters in baseball. To be fair, I've said this so many times throughout the offseason. I truly do believe that DJ LeMahieu is the most valuable hitter in the Yankees lineup. You could make the argument for other guys, for like Judge and maybe even Torres, Stanton too. Definitely a valuable one. But DJ LeMahieu has to be the guy for me. If the Yankees do end up missing out on DJ LeMahieu, and they can't even turn back to someone like Francisco Lindor because he's on the Mets now, the Yankees find themselves in a very serious situation. I think in that situation they would go with a guy like Simmons, but you can't compare the productions of Simmons to Lindor. It's just not comparable in any sort of way. Steve thinks that we may lose DJ. Listen, I've said it all offseason. Each day that goes by where DJ LeMahieu is not a New York Yankee, I think the chance of us losing him get greater for sure. I truly thought that a contract was going to get done by like November. Clearly that's not happening. Especially now with, the report from John Heyman today. I believe he just rehashed the news that came out yesterday. And that was that the Yankees are still in the money gap with DJ, and the Dodgers, Blue Jays, and Mets are all in conversations with DJ too. Apparently yesterday what had happened was news came out that DJ's re-engaging with other teams that previously showed interest. So I guess he wasn't talking to them in the meantime. He was just talking to the Yankees. I don't really know. But listen, now that he's engaging these other teams, I'm sure that there's other teams in Major League Baseball that are willing to give DJ 5 years, $110 million. Because like I said, we're talking about one of the best hitters in the league right now. I don't think there's any debating that. The dude consistently hits runners in scoring position, hits over 300 almost guaranteed every season, and he's just a gamer. Any team would pay DJ LeMahieu 5 years, 110. And the fact that the Yankees don't want to go over 4 years, that sucks. It really sucks. But listen, I don't really know where the team goes from here, only because, like I said, Simmons would only be like the logical replacement. I can't see them going within the organization to replace DJ. Could you imagine, like, opening day, we have Gleyber Torres at shortstop and Tyler Wade at second base? I would probably look at that and throw up in my mouth. I'm not even going to lie. That's just disgusting. Just shameful in every capacity. Let's see, Matt. Or they bring back Didi. I know you're not a fan, and the money goes to pitching. Bauer, Kluber, and Tanaka for the same money. My thing is that I'm assuming that Didi and Simmons are going to go for around the same price. So if it comes down to Didi or Simmons, I think I would go the Simmons route. Only because the defense is stellar. And honestly, you might get better offensive contribution from Simmons. More of what the Yankees are looking for. Didi's one of those guys where he doesn't get on base that much. I can't go through another playoff series looking at guys swing at the first pitch and pop up to an infielder. It's just, and I feel like that's what we're going to get out of Didi. I know he's had his clutch moments, but he doesn't have that patient approach at the plate that I think the Yankees need in the lineup right now. It's so one-dimensional. It's ridiculous. But I think that the money that they could spend on DJ. Maybe if they could go out and for the same price as DJ, they could get Simmons, Kluber, and Taijuan Walker. Maybe I do that. It all depends, but I still feel like they could get DJ and still get Kluber and a guy like Taijuan Walker in the same conversation. I don't know why we're playing the if or scenario. But yeah. Jake, I was thinking the reasons the Yankees in signing Small is to make it look like they did something to cover up not signing DJ. I don't think so. Only because I say this all the time. I don't think they're stupid. And I hope they don't think their fans are stupid. And I hope they know that their fans know that signing guys like Socrates, Brito, and trading for Greg Allen, these are not viable replacements for DJ LeMahieu. The Yankees know this. And I don't think they're making these moves just to appease to the fans. I think they're just trying to add some depth because they know that this is a very injury-prone team that they have. And, bro, we saw last season. I mean, the Yankees had no depth whatsoever. I mean, there was points where, honestly, I thought Shane Robinson was going to come back to play in the outfield because it just seems like they have so many injuries. So I think guys like Socrates, Brito, Greg Allen, they're just there for depth. So if you want to start Tauchman in AAA to start the season, Hicks gets hurt in May, you bring up Tauchman, and then Brito takes over in AAA. I think those are more depth moves, not necessarily replacements for DJ. What's up, Pete? How we doing tonight, my man? Thank you for liking the stream. Shout out Nick Pappas for sharing the stream too. Didi proved in New York though that has value too. That's also true. But I think that just goes back to my conversation and saying that just because people were good in New York at some point doesn't mean that time is over. I think the same conversation could be had with Brett Gardner. He definitely proved that he could do it in New York, but I think Brett Gardner's time with the organization is up too. There's a fine line between respecting what a player's done for a team and wanting to bring them back. And listen, I don't get me wrong, I wouldn't hate it if they brought back Didi. I definitely wouldn't hate it, but I think that there are better options out there. And listen, maybe even a guy like Jose Ramirez. I know we would probably take an arm and a leg to get him, but I would love having Jose Ramirez in the Bronx. I don't really know how that would work with the infield situation, only because Gio's such a great third baseman. And maybe you move Jose Ramirez to second base. It's definitely possible, but that's only if DJ doesn't come back. We don't have to have any of these conversations if the Yankees just give DJ 5 and 110 and call it that. Don't call it an offseason, though, because I think that there's definitely other moves that need to be made. But listen, just re-sign DJ. Thanks for liking the stream, Steve and Nick. Appreciate you guys. Can never have enough depth. Jake, I agree with you 1,000%, my man. 1,000%. And like I said before, we've seen the Yankees prove this the past 2 seasons. You can never have enough depth. And fortunately, it worked out for them in 2019 where they called up guys like Estrada and Tauchman and Gio and Ford, and they produced at a very high level. Obviously, based on what happened in 2020, we know that that's not going to happen every season. We know that these replacements aren't going to come up every season and absolutely dominate because that was just the Yankees got so lucky in 2019. Like, let's be honest. Like, the fact that they had all those injuries and just had guys to step in and produce at, like, the same level, that's not going to happen all the time. And 2020 really proved that. So, yeah, can never have enough depth. What's my take on Hicks? Is he a given center fielder? The health drives me nuts, and he's so streaky. Speaking of Hicks, actually, did you guys see the golf ball hit that he did at one of the Top Golfs? Good stuff. But, yeah, based on, like, his role in the Yankees organization, I would have to say that they're still going to be relying on him, especially after a really good postseason. I think he kind of proved himself that he's still a good hitter. The health is key. The same could be said with so many other guys in the Yankees lineup right now. I would even put Aaron Judge and Aaron Hicks in the same conversation, only because you need both of those guys to stay on the field, right? And you're assuming that when they are healthy on the field, that they're going to produce for you at a high level. Yeah, Stanton could be in that same conversation too. So if you don't have at least 2 out of 3 of these guys on the field at the same time, you're looking at trouble in the lineup because they all balance each other out. Without Hicks in that lineup, it's even more one-dimensional than it already is. I mean, he's, assuming you don't bring back Brett Gardner, right? He's your only guy in that lineup who can hit from the left side of the plate. I understand if you look at analytics that doesn't really matter, but, I mean, just based on like a casual fan perspective. You need diversity in the lineup. And I truly, I'm a firm believer in that. I do look at analytics sometimes, and I think they should be integrated with like regular baseball knowledge. But I think the presence of Hicks in that lineup is so significant, not only because of the left-handed bat, but also because of the on base. Hicks knows how to draw walks. He knows how to get on base. And if you could get Hicks on base for a guy like Judge or Stanton, that's exactly what his role is. You don't necessarily need him to hit 30 home runs a season. But if he could get on base for these big sluggers who need to be in the lineup too, then I think the Yankees are in a good position. But also, I think the Hicks contract is an awesome deal. I think he got like 8 years, $80 million. An absolute steal at the time, because I don't think the Yankees knew that going into the future his health was going to be this bad. But listen, new year, 2021, right? We're going into the season assuming that all these guys are going to be healthy. I've gone on the record of saying if Aaron Judge, Aaron Hicks, Giancarlo Stanton do get hurt this year, I don't want to say I'll give up on them, but I'm definitely not going to count on them every season as I am now. Because going into the season, I'm counting on guys like Hicks, counting on guys like Judge, counting on guys like Stanton, because I still have faith that they're going to be able to remain healthy this season. However, like I said, if they prove me wrong this year, I'm changing my entire tune. And I'll be like, yeah, like this guy's definitely injury prone. We can't count on him. Maybe we should look into other outfield options. The same way I look at a guy like Gary Sanchez, to be honest. And I mentioned this before. If Gary Sanchez has another awful year in 2021, I think we need to start looking at other catching options. And I think that's fair. If you prove a track record of something, then I think it's time to take a serious look at it. But right now, don't jump on Gary just yet. We're pushing the line on Judge and Hicks as far as their injuries go, same as Stanton. So I just want to go into 2021 with an open mind, just hope for the best for all of them, honestly. What's up, Derek? At this point, sign him or let him walk, but get to improving the team. Derek, I agree 1,000%. And the fact that the Yankees don't know how to multitask right now, and we're hearing reports that all they want to do is their main focus is on DJ, and he's their only focus right now. That's a very, very troubling scenario, because let's just say hypothetically, right? The Yankees don't want to give DJ 5 years, because we know they don't. And a team like the Blue Jays does. The Blue Jays offer him 5 years, $120 million. DJ signs with them tomorrow. What happens in that case? Where do the Yankees turn? Because if they have their only sight set on DJ LeMahieu right now, they might find themselves in an awful, awful situation a few weeks from now, right? Especially if a guy like Simmons signs somewhere else. Say Simmons signs somewhere else. Then where do you go? Didi? Didi's your other option? Because that's troubling that now you're on your third string of options just because you didn't feel like doing anything else all off season. And the fact that you don't even want to focus on other pitchers while you still pursue DJ LeMahieu, I don't understand. I don't understand what's taking them so long to address other needs of this team while they wait for DJ. Why is it DJ or nothing at this point? You can't still pursue a guy like Kluber, a guy like Garrett Richards, a guy like Taijuan Walker while this is going on in the meantime? Really? I learned how to multitask in 4th grade. Maybe even before that. In kindergarten, you got to finger paint and read ABC books at the same time. But the Yankees can't do this? Whatever. Now I'm heated. Hashtag Patrick Rans. The most valuable ability is availability. All the talent in the world is useless on the IL. Matt, I agree with you 1,000%. That's why I think these guys must stay healthy next season. We saw it in the postseason. In 2019 specifically. Against the Twins, the Yankees were absolutely dominant, right? You had a complete lineup. You had DJ, Judge, Hicks, Edwin Encarnacion, Giancarlo Stanton, Gleyber Torres. That lineup was unstoppable. They swept the Twins. They even won Game 1 of the ALCS against the Astros. I didn't think they were going to lose a game all that postseason. And then what happens? Stanton gets hurt, right? I'm assuming Edwin re-aggravated an injury because he didn't look like himself, and he was awful the rest of that Houston series. So losing 2 hitters like that in your lineup due to health, and having to replace them with guys like Cameron Maybin, it takes a toll on the team. And like you said, the best ability is availability. If you had Stanton available in that 2019 postseason, it's very likely that offense continues to roll and they beat the Astros and move to the World Series. But we're playing this what-if scenario. What if he stayed healthy? What if he stayed healthy? Unfortunately, they don't, and unfortunately, they haven't. But going into the future, hopefully they can. Do I see Boone lasting all season if the Yankees are struggling during the season? 100%. Yeah. I mean, even if I don't agree with it, I think no matter how low the Yankee season may reach, I think Boone is going to remain the manager throughout the year. We know that Aaron Boone is the Yankees guy. Cashman refuses to say one bad thing about him, and he's an organization guy. Cashman said he wants Boone for the next 10 years. But like I said, if the Yankees once again disappoint in 2021 and don't make the World Series, if they don't even make it to the ALCS, Aaron Boone is gone. I really do believe that 110%. Because like I said, it says a lot that Boone had an option at the end of his contract this year, right? And the Yankees accepted it very low-key, very low-key. They didn't give him an extension, though, which I think says a lot. If they truly believed Aaron Boone was their manager of the future, right, they would have signed him to an extension. Just saying. Just throwing that one out there. To be fair, Maben did overperform that season, heading off to watch the national championship. Have a great night. Have a great night, you too, Matt. Appreciate you for always tuning in. But yeah, Maben definitely overperformed that season. But I think it's fair to say that he's no Giancarlo Stanton in that lineup. When Justin Verlander heads to the mound, he looks at the opposing lineup and he sees Cameron Maben over Giancarlo Stanton. He's licking his lips. I don't care how well Cameron Maben performed that season. Just the name itself in that lineup has such an effect on the opposing team, especially in a playoff atmosphere at home. Let's see. The thought of Wade being our second baseman gives me nightmares I haven't had since Chuck Knobloch days. Bro, it pained me that we even had to see Tyler Wade last year to start the season in the first few games because DJ had COVID. That was terrible. Listen, I like to think that the Yankees know the significance of DJ in that lineup, right? And I'd like to think that they know that Tyler Wade can't replace him. But then again, this organization just continues to surprise me with crazy-ass things. So would I even be surprised if they go with Tyler Wade at second base? I don't know, okay? I probably wouldn't be that shocked, but deep down inside I would be. Hi, LA Yankee King. How are we doing tonight, my man? Nelson Spada, if R. Don't really know what that means. Jake, when Boone is gone, who are you going with? That's a really good question. Listen, I know once like managerial searches happen, there's a lot of names that come out of the woodworks that you would have never expected. Like I would have never expected Aaron Boone to be the Yankees' next manager. No way. And I do think Mullins would have been a better option than him, but that's in the past. Moving forward, look, I would love a guy like CC Sabathia as Yankees manager. He's already said that he's not interested in doing so, so that's probably not realistic if Boone's gone next year. Maybe 10 years from now, maybe CC will change his mind because I think he'd be a great manager. But after next season, personally, maybe you go with a guy like Buck Showalter. Maybe the Yankees' idea of having a manager who's kind of like a friend to the players wasn't really a good idea. That's why I also like a guy like Mark DeRosa too, but I think he would be more of like a Boone type of manager. He would just be friends with the players. That's why I think maybe Buck Showalter might be the way to go. I heard a lot of people talking about Buck before this season ended because maybe they thought that Boone's option wasn't going to be picked up. But yeah, I think maybe this team does need a veteran, gritty style manager who's actually going to hold them accountable for playing awful. And like Nick and Para and all the guys like to say, not hand out candy necklaces after every game, right? What's up, Futai? 4 years, 80 to 82 million is my limit for DJ. It's not my limit. Listen, the way I look at it is it's not my money, right? I don't care how much they spend. I think a fair offer for DJ would be anywhere between 4 years, 80 million and 5 years, 110. I think anything over 110 would be too much. But also I think anything below 480 would be too little. I think the issue is the Yankees are trying to get the best bargain on their best hitter, which is weird because maybe they're thinking down the line they might have a lot of big contracts to hand out. If Judge stays healthy and performs well, they're going to have to hand him a big contract. Gleyber, they're still a little bit away from Gleyber hitting free agency, but they're going to have to give him a contract too. I'm assuming they're not going to re-sign Gary, so that's not really anything to worry about. But then you also got guys like Sevy and Montgomery, so maybe they're looking down that road and just trying to get the best bargain for LeMahieu because they know they have a lot of money to spend in the future. But I don't really care how much they spend, to be honest. Like, when Cole got that massive deal, a lot of people were complaining, oh, it's so much money. I don't really care. Like, it's not my money. It has no impact on my life. And I don't know why, as fans, we complain about players' contracts. Ticket prices are going to be astronomical regardless, right? So, I don't know. We're still never going to be able to afford the Legends section. I know I can't. I mean, what is it? It's something stupid. It's like $1,000 to sit, probably more, to sit behind home plate. We're talking a couple grand probably. But, whatever. Gleyber Torres is the second baseman. Who's your shortstop then, LA Yankee King? Right now, the Yankees don't have another shortstop. So, if you're going to move Gleyber to second, who's going to be your shortstop? Logan Jones, DJ's coming to LA. Logan, I see you in this chat very often. Very often. And I know you're a Dodger fan, right? If DJ LeMahieu does go to the Dodgers, I'll personally throw you a celebration on stream. I think that's very fair. Because you've been saying DJ the Dodgers this whole time. So if it actually happens, I'll give you a round of applause. I'll buy some party poppers, pop them for you on stream, right? And I'll probably do the same thing if he signs with the Yankees too. We'll have a little celebration on stream, but I'll have like a little celebration just for Logan. David Cone, yeah, David Cone would be a good option as manager too. I really like Cone. He's actually, I know we talked about this on stream maybe like last week. He's the only one in the Yankees booth I actually like. I really don't like Michael Kay. Don't think he's a great announcer. Paul O'Neill, I listen, you guys could hate me for this. I think he's atrocious. I'm not a fan of Paul O'Neill as an announcer whatsoever. I think he provides nothing to the booth at all. But yeah, Trevor Story to the Yankees, I would be a huge fan of that. I really would be. If the Yankees could get a deal with the Rockies for like Story and Herman Marquez, I think that might be something that's worth pursuing. Now, I could see them having to give up maybe like, I don't know. Who would you even give up in that trade? Gary? Maybe Gary would be the centerpiece? I feel like Gary would rake in Colorado, to be honest. Could be a good deal for both sides. Joe Buck is your guy's new manager. Logan, you just like playing with me, don't you? Joe Buck? Listen, also, I don't hate Joe Buck as much as most people do. I think that he really does like provide a good atmosphere for postseason baseball games. Merrifield is a good alternative. Merrifield could be cool. Yeah, Merrifield could be a good option. Good DJ replacement. But listen, that's another one. I don't know how much the Yankees would have to give up to get him. And we know they love prospect hugging. So I'm assuming the Royals would start that off with Clint. They would probably be looking for Clint. If not, they would be looking for like Devi. And I can't see the Yankees parting with Clint or Devi at this point. So then Clark Schmidt is the only option. I don't know if I'd give up Clark Schmidt for Whit Merrifield. I really don't know. Paul O'Neill talks too much about personal life and not the game. Yeah, that's kind of like my main gripe on him. It could be like the 7th inning of like a tie game, and he'll just like start talking about like a hangnail he had during like the 96 ALCS. Like, Paul, I don't really care, bro. Like, I just want to watch the game. Like, I want to see if Luke Voigt hits a bomb here. Like, you know what I mean? Love Paul, but hate him in the booth. Yeah. No, I think he's a solid guy. I have nothing against him personally. I just don't like listening to him in the booth. That's all. I won't be surprised that the Rockies will ask for that 19-year-old Hulk guy for Story. Are we talking about Jason Dominguez? Because if we are, he's 17, Logan. Don't forget that. But I think all you guys know by now. I'm not that big of a Jason Dominguez guy either. Only because, look, I know the kid has talent, right? But I'm not going to get so hype over a prospect, A, who's 17 years old, and B, who has never played a professional baseball game. Yes, it's really cool to see, like, this kid who looks like the Hulk at 17 and hits the ball 110 miles per hour off of a tee. But until I see him do that in a minor league baseball game, I don't really care right now. Like, that's not even like a pessimistic thing to say. I'll just believe it when I see it, right? I'll believe that he's an absolute tank when I see him hit 30 home runs in a minor league season, right? But I still think he'll be a part of the Yankees' future, and I don't see them trading him. Only because I think the Yankees get so concerned with trading prospects because they're scared they're going to be good for another team. So I think if they did trade him for like Story, they would regret that every day of their lives if Dominguez became a superstar in Colorado. But listen, I just want some other Yankee news at this point besides DJ LeMahieu. It's starting to get really frustrating how this is the only news we ever seem to hear about, and it's never even much news. It's like Blue Jays are re-engaging talks with DJ LeMahieu. Yankees and DJ LeMahieu reach stalemate. Like, when are we going to get some rumors about, like, Corey Kluber? Or maybe, like, Kyle Hendricks? It's always just fan-made rumors. I swear. It's like the Kyle Hendricks rumors only started because they traded Yu Darvish. So people assumed that they were going to undergo, like, a fire sale. There was no actually, like, linking between Kyle Hendricks and the New York Yankees. Of course not, though. Because why would we trade for a number 2 starter who would be a perfect fit behind Garrett Cole? I have no idea. I don't know why we think that would be a perfect fit. Would Suarez be a good fit for you guys at third base? I'm going to say no. Only because we don't need a third baseman. And also, I feel like Suarez is another one of those guys who's just all pop. And that's not really what we need. I mean, you could say we have 3 of those guys right now with Stanton, Judge, and Voit. I would put Suarez in the same category as them. Just right-handed hitters with pop. I don't want more of that. I really don't. I want left-handed hitters who could actually put bat on ball. That's why I want Michael Brantley so bad. The only issue is I don't really see where he would be playing. I would love to replace Brett Gardner with Michael Brantley. Don't know how realistic that is. But, yeah, I would love to do that. I think Brett Gardner's done. Bring in Michael Brantley. Have him platoon with Clint, maybe. And then just move one of them to center field once the eventual Hicks injury happens, or move one of them to right field once the eventual Judge injury happens, which is sad to say, but I think we're getting close to saying that. Yeah. Can we get Bauer, please? I would love to. I wish it was as easy as just saying Cashman, go sign Bauer, but I don't think that they're too interested in him, to be honest. You guys signed Tyler Lyons? Yeah, we did sign Tyler Lyons. I forgot when he was with the Yankees. It was either like 2018 or 2019. But this is like the offseason of reuniting with old Yankees, I guess. First, we got Warren for the 15th time, and now we're re-signing Tyler Lyons. They signed Matt Bowman, Socrates Brito, Yoli Chacin, traded for Greg Allen. Like, what are we doing this offseason? Like, this is honest. Like, I'd rather them do absolutely nothing than sign Yoli Chacin and fucking Tyler Lyons. Like, not a fan. I'd rather you just sit back and do nothing. Because now it's like they're acting like they're trying, right? I'd rather you just not even try, to be honest, because this effort is putrid. Kluber's throwing on the 15th, I think. Yeah, I think he's throwing pretty soon. Listen, if the Yankees don't send any scouts, that would just be stupid. I'm assuming they're going to be sending scouts there. And right now, I would maybe put them as the favorites to sign Kluber. Depends on what he's asking for. I don't know. I would love him. We all know I'm a Kluber guy, right? What do you think Javier Baez via trade to play for? No. I think Javier Baez is a good hitter, good player, but I don't want him on the Yankees. It's another one of that situation where we don't need another right-handed bat who strikes out a lot. We really just don't. And also the amount that it would cost to get him, I mean, it would just be stupid. It wouldn't make sense for the Yankees at all. What about Anthony Rizzo for left-handed? Yeah, but the only issue is what do you do with Luke Voit? Because it's not like either of them play another position, and you have DH locked up with Stanton. So, where would you even put Rizzo? I mean, I like Anthony Rizzo a lot, and I think he would be an awesome fit in Yankee Stadium. I just don't see where he would fit in the lineup right now, you know? I heard the season's going to be on time and going to have a 162-game season with no DH for the NL. I think no DH for the NL is a mistake. I think having DH in the NL would be a great idea. We saw how good it was in last season, and I think it would be an awesome thing for the free agency market because it would open the door for so many other guys. Like who's one guy, for example, like Michael Brantley. I mean, if a team doesn't want him to really play in the outfield, he could sign with the NL team and DH half the time. So listen, I'm not a fan of pitchers hitting in the NL. I think it provides nothing to the game. But maybe that's just a young fan's perspective. I don't really know. High school. Oh yeah. Also, I hope that there is fans next season. Yes, Nelson Cruz too. He's another one that would really be able to get a contract in the NL. Also, I hope there's fans next season. I don't see a reason why there shouldn't be. Hold stadiums at like quarter capacity. Have fans come. Most of the stadiums are outdoor anyway. I don't see an issue at all. High school reunion with former Yankee player signings. Basically, that's essentially what this offseason has become. They would be stupid to not sign Kluber. Low risk, high reward, especially if he gives us 60% of what he used to be. 100%, Isaac. Not sure if you saw the video where I mentioned 3 free agent starting pitchers the Yankees should sign. And I talked about Kluber, and I said, listen, I'll take 60% of Corey Kluber over 100% of most pitchers on the free agent market right now. I mean, because we know like what you're going to get from Corey Kluber. In the words of Don LaGreca, we know what we're going to get from Corey Kluber. Say Corey Kluber 10 times. Tell me it's not a tongue twister. Corey Kluber. It's a tongue twister, okay? Not my fault. Remember when I told you LeMahieu was out the door and you guys tried to convince me you were going to re-sign him? Well, this is not your daddy's Yanks and Steinbrenner's not his father. Michael Johnston. Regardless of how much you shit talk, I still appreciate you, my man. I love shit talk, 100%. But yeah, no, I'm going to agree with you. Going into the offseason, I was super optimistic that the Yankees were going to re-sign DJ Quick. But once again, these are not our dad's Yankees. This is not George Steinbrenner's Yankees, and Hal will never be George. He runs this organization much more like a corporation rather than a baseball team. And it doesn't really seem like he'll do anything it takes to win. So yeah, I'll agree with you, and I'll admit when I was wrong. I was wrong in saying that the Yankees re-signing DJ was going to be a lock. It doesn't mean that he's not going to re-sign with them. I think this is all negotiation tactics, and I think at the end of the day, he's still going to be a New York Yankee heading into next season. But the process is definitely dragging on much longer than I originally expected it to. I don't see California will open up fans for a long time. Yeah, I mean, California, I think they're like the worst state in the country right now, right? So it's possible. But listen, the season also doesn't start for almost 3 months. So I think things can be much different from them. I know the vaccine's starting to roll out. A lot of people want to get the vaccine, so they get the vaccine. Maybe that'll slow the spread. I don't really know. I'm not a doctor. But listen, looking 3-4 months into the future, I really do think by then most states will be able to hold fans in attendance. You've lost faith in the Yankees, LA Yankee King. So maybe you should change your name to LA Mets King, because the Mets are killing it. Shout out to the Mets. They're just absolutely dogging Major League Baseball right now. I really want to see 2021 Yankees versus Dodgers World Series. That would be a good series. That would be an awesome series. That was my prediction for 2020. I really thought the Yankees were going to make it. Clearly, that didn't work out. But shout out to the Dodgers for winning the World Series. Austin Wells or Anthony Siegler making the 40-man this spring? Probably not. Especially not Wells. I think the Yankees want to see what he could do in the minor leagues first. I'm not sure how much Siegler got work in the minor leagues, but I think both of them are at least 2, maybe 3 years away from Major League Baseball. I mean, it's possible they can make the 40-man. I just don't necessarily see it happening this spring. I see DJ landing with the Nats. I couldn't sleep on you guys swinging a deal for Seager with the M's. Yeah, my only thing with Kyle Seager is where would he play for the Yankees? And also, where do you put Gio? Because Gio's an exceptional third baseman, right? So you bring Seager. I think he only plays like third base, maybe some first base. What would you do with Voit in that scenario? I think Kyle Seager would be a good fit for the Yankees. I really do. But I don't really see a fit right now. I don't know where he would work in the lineup or even on the field. I swear I could run this team better. LI Mets King, maybe you should. Maybe you should email Brian Cashman, send him like an application. You could send him like all your trade suggestions too. I mean, I'm sure he would love that. Let him know like why you want to be running the Yankees, right? You could just say like you could send all your messages you've typed in this chat, and yeah, maybe he'll just be like, you know what, LA Yankee King, we want you. We want you to run this team. We have faith in you to run this team, right? Do I see Gavin Lux starting or getting traded? Listen, I was surprised that Gavin Lux wasn't starting for the Dodgers entering 2020. So I don't really know what they're gonna do in 2021. I mean, what's their roster looking like right now? They don't have a second baseman, do they? Because their infield would be what? Unless they put Lux at third and don't re-sign Turner. Because right now, third base is empty, right? Because Turner's still a free agent. And then you got Seager. Muncy at second? Is Muncy the second baseman? And then first would be, who's the Dodgers' first baseman? I don't even know. Not Bellinger, because Bellinger plays, center field now, right? I have no idea. You just blew my mind. I don't know why. Where does Kike Hernandez play? Left? So you got Kike Hernandez. Catchers, what? Will Smith and Austin Barnes. Muncy? Okay, so Muncy's the second baseman, right? And then I don't even know who first base is. Unless Muncy's first, I have no idea. I'm drawing an absolute blank right now. It could happen. Look, Sean McVay is Rams head coach, and he's my age, 34. What are you trying to prove? The LA Yankee King could run the Yankees? Give an LA Yankee King a lot of credit if that's the case. I just think you guys would need a left-handed bat, or Urshela Seager would be a solid platoon. Yeah, no, I think we desperately need a left-handed bat too. I've been saying that. However, I think Michael Brantley would be that guy for us. I don't think Urshela or Seager should have to platoon. I think both of those guys are good enough where they deserve to be starting. And I think the Yankees really do have faith in Urshela especially after how good he was in 2020. So yeah, I think that Urshela is going to be the starting third baseman, not first baseman, starting third baseman moving forward for sure. Muncy's the first baseman. So then who's second base? Who the hell's the Dodgers second baseman? I got to look this up. Dodgers World Series infield. Why did Tommy Lasorda come up? Okay, so it was Kike. It was Kike Hernandez at second. Yeah, it was Kike. Okay. Yeah, I assumed Kike was like in the outfield, but I guess he just plays every position. So look, who played left? All right, I got to look up the Dodgers World Series lineup because now I'm kind of confused. It's giving me 2018. All right, here we go. So why is it so blurry? Okay, so they had Pollock and Chris Taylor too. Okay, that makes sense. Left was Chris Taylor. Got it. So yeah, the Dodgers could oh wait, Kike is a free agent. Kike is definitely a free agent. 100%. So Kike is gone. So you just replace him with Gavin Lux. Simple as that. And then you re-sign Turner. I don't think that's too complicated. Unless you re-sign Kike instead of Turner. I think Dodger fans like Kike a lot, right? So maybe they go with Kike instead of Turner. But then again, Dodger fans like Turner a lot too. I don't know. They could go in so many different directions. It's a good problem to have. Or they just sign DJ. Unless they just sign DJ. Then we don't even have a conversation here, right? I don't know, whatever. Dodger girls love Justin Turner? Is that true? Turner wants a 4-year deal? What? He's 36? Looks good for 36. Not in a sus way, but like, he looks good for 36. He doesn't look that old. I didn't know Dodger girls like Justin Turner. I really didn't. I didn't think he was a fan favorite in that capacity. Looks like Grizzly Adams. All right, cool. On that note, I think that is gonna wrap things up for us tonight. Appreciate all you guys for sticking around for 40 minutes. However, I am going live on Twitch in like 15 minutes with the Unhinged crew. We're gonna be playing Among Us. Not sure how many of you guys tuned in last week for the Among Us stream, but it's a good ass time. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be me, Para, Brian, Sean, Anthony. But some other people too. It's always a good time. So twitch.tv/Unhinged New York. I'm gonna be going live on there in like 15 minutes to play Among Us with the crew. Be sure to follow so you know when we go live on there. You guys know the deal. I'll be live again tomorrow night. Maybe with a co-host. We'll see. But yeah, appreciate all you guys for sticking around. Hopefully, see some of you in like 15 minutes on Twitch. But you know the deal. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Have a good night, everybody.